this audience, the black manosphere, you got to remember, even though it's men you're speaking to, it's still a black audience. And you have to understand the rhythms of that, and you're not going to win with facts. And this was years ago, as like my channel was just getting off the ground, and I actually was having a debate. I think I might actually had a debate with MOT at that point, and I kind of barely lost it. But anyway, the point I had made to him is that my approach to this whole kind of conversation isn't to necessarily assume that I'm going to win with facts. You got to tell a better story. You got to tell these guys a better story, and sometimes you just got to have better jokes. If you're talking about just purely winning an audience over, you got to make them laugh a little bit harder at the thing that you say. And when it comes to like this particular narrative, I don't necessarily take that approach that you just sort of referred to with Clarence Thomas, where he's making a rational argument. Like for him, that's fine. Yeah, obviously, I want him in that position to make that argument. But talking to these guys, no, this is how I look at it.
But
Affirmative
another,
action is giving
oh,
everything to the women that you criticize every day. Period. End of. The same women that you say are acting a certain type of way, they can't be negotiated with, they can't be bargained with, they can't be reasoned with. One of the major reasons for that is affirmative action. Not just at the college level, but the entire culture of it has the byproduct of placing the women over you because their action is a little bit more affirmative than yours.
yeah, I mean, I get it. You're better at that than I am. I would say 100-fold. Um, I can laugh at people. I'm not as a comedian as you are, but I okay. Let me throw one other thing out there, and I'm not picking. I'm just saying that this is an argument that I hear a lot. Um, I think that was, I forget who it was. It says, "Has Clarence Thomas ever reached out to Black America after making the Supreme Court?" Um, isn't it Black America that makes the arguments when they talk about stuff that happened in the past? One of their major arguments that they bring up is things that happen with eminent domain.
Of course,
Yep.
and I
Okay,
know it's always hypocritical.
and then my argument to them would be, okay, name another justice ever in the history of the United States who has written more and made more cases against eminent domain than Clarence Thomas.
Well, that goes against their delusion, SKC.
Yeah, yeah. Well, welcome to the show, Snowman. You can pick it up from there if you like.
Well, first, I just wanted to say that, I just want to go ahead and throw out there that being that I have three children that are direct descendants of Mr. Josiah Bartlett, who was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, um,
Is
my
that, is
wife,
that white privilege you're referring to?
no, that's my white supremacy going full circle because my youngest daughter, Vivian Liberty Nicole, was just born this morning on the 4th of July.
Oh, snap. Well, that is a
Congratulations,
little
good sir.
privilege. Yeah, that is a little privilege.
Congrats, man.
Okay, baby privilege. I'm with it. I like that.
Hey, man.
Congratulations to
Hell
you,
yeah,
Snowman.
Snowman. Woo, baby.
Thank you. You notice how I threw Liberty in there as one of her middle names, ma'am, since she's a 4th of July baby.
I did notice. I did notice, and the patriarchy approves.
But this whole I've been listening to this whole argument with them getting rid of affirmative action in colleges. And look, all this in my opinion. Whoa, what just happened? I'm hearing echoing.
Somebody needs to move.
Hey, Greg, can you mute back up? I think that's on your end. Let me help you out.
But I'm pretty sure I'm the father of this one. I didn't find no little blue spot on her butt, so I know that Trey isn't the father to this one. So
Okay, all right, if you say so.
I'm just saying she looks too much like my mom. But still time will tell. But this whole affirmative action thing, it just goes to the delusion that's coming from the majority of the Black females in the community. I mean, that's what their whole reality is based in, is one big delusion. And they have to keep perpetuating that delusion in order to continue to justify these quote unquote handouts that they're constantly asking for. They claim to be the most the most marginalized, disenfranchised, most underprotected class in America, but yet I don't see any bills being wrote for anyone else but black women right now.
I mean, you saw what happened to Ice Cube.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't see brothers going around talking about how, you know, that they don't get the same adequate health care and shit that women that their white counterpart does, like black women do. I mean, they're just constantly pushing these fallacies and these delusions that aren't doing any justice to the betterment of their community at all, you know, and they claim to be wanting to actually lift and make their community better when actually all they're doing is tearing it down. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous, delusional thing I've ever saw in my life. And I think the more people need to push back on it.
That's kind of one of the points I was making earlier. Like this whole affirmative action culture would be a little bit less reprehensible. It would be way less reprehensible if you could point to the generations and generations of doctors and engineers and lawyers that have directly like come out of this program. But I don't know that you can. It seems at this point, you know, Clarence Thomas seems to be like a little bit unique. Like maybe that's just because, you know, he's risen so high, but still, like, we're not getting a bunch of Clarence Thomases like we thought we would. And so maybe it's time to close the gate.
I think I have to agree with you, because you know what you do have? You have a whole group of people claiming to be the most educated in America, but really what you have is a whole group of people that seem to hold all the student loan debt in America.
Yeah, which is untenable.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, most of these college programs, in one way or another, they have the effect of lopsidedly helping women. And just that, from that perspective alone, I'm like, well, you know, what's in it for me? And nothing in it for me, so I don't care. But let me pass the mic real quick, Greg. You got it, man. I'm gonna mute up, and I think when I go on mute, it'll probably be a little bit better. But you got it, bro.
Was I echoing?
You were echoing. I guess. All right, it's cleared up now. All right, we're good.
Yeah. I just actually hit the wrong button, as usual. By the way, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I fuck up streams. But what I do want to say is, I think when you address affirmative action from the perspective of it being an old age additive in the black community, it's kind of lost its flavor. Like you said, you're not getting a lot of Clarence Thomases. I mean, we have a whole new breed of you know, people of color that actually have benefited from it, and they do. But when they benefit from it, what they do, in my opinion, instead of leading more horses to the water, they tell people that the water's tainted. You can't make it in this country while they've already made it. And that's confusing. Like, you perpetuate.
That's so many TV people. That's what I'm sorry. That's what I think of them as, like the professional black people on TV. Like, it's their job to be black on TV. And that job alone puts you in a nice life, right? You can't say that you're struggling and suffering if you got that job, but you want me to think it's so hard out here for you.
That's my grievance industry. It's a whole grievance industry.
Absolutely. So you can't make it if the white man got his foot on your throat. So my question has always been, so what did y'all do? What y'all cut the white man's foot off? Give me the knife then. Help me sharpen the machete.
Well, Greg, it's something that is interesting about that line of reasoning is you have people that they truly do believe that there were no black people going into the Ivy Leagues before affirmative action. But when you go and just do so cursory research, you find that all of that is false. Heck, there were people graduating from Ivy Leagues in the 1800s that were black.
Yeah, people don't want to talk about the Black Republican caucus. I mean, black Republicans have been strong in this country a long time, but you don't get that part of history. We just get the slave thing. And with the Breakfast Club, that chick that was up there, I always mess her name up, so I'm not going to try. I do try to show my sisters a little respect, so I ain't going to hack her name up. But when you find out who she is, all of it makes sense. You know, she comes out of the Bob Avakian School of Revolutionary Organization, RevCom. So she's a trained Marxist. Like she up there with, Patrice Cullors and them clowns, as Jesse Lee Peterson called them, a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians who hate the nuclear family and hate God. That's where she is. That's who she is. She came out of that school. So she's been programmed to hate black people, but kind of gather white people to support their cause while claiming to hate white people. It's so confusing. Do you hate black people, or do you love black people and hate white people? Why is your organization funded by a ton of white people that hate this country, and you don't broadcast the fact that all of your funding and all of your ideological premises are coming out of white thought that hate this country?
Because most of the TV blacks, as I like to call them, they are essentially slave catchers.
No, you didn't. Oh shit.
That's their function.
Damn.
Oh shit.
What? I call them Negro wranglers, but okay.
I could go with it. But that's what it is. And if the line of thought that history repeats itself, people should have a clear idea how a lot of us ended up in slavery. I'm just saying. If you could get a black man like Charlemagne and them, a lot of these clowns, like that walk away debate that we had, all of those beautiful black people up there with master's degrees, business owners, entrepreneurs, talking about shit that happened when none of us here. And that's what they stand on, to collectively continue to brainwash multiple generations into believing that if you are a man or a woman of color in this country, that you are somehow a slave, but then celebrate Juneteenth. Somebody just help me, man.
Hey, Greg, you know what pissed me off about this whole thing? Yes, we should know about slavery, but we should know more about the accomplishments that we've had. And even if you don't like somebody, we need to check people whenever they're sitting up here talking crazy. You got all these white people using the hard ER for Clarence Thomas. That needs to be checked. Oh, if you're somehow this race warrior, that's gonna battle for injustices, like that doesn't take away his blackness because I don't agree with him on something. This is crazy, man.
Funny how it's really not about race, right?
Right. It seems to be okay when they're following along with the delusion.
No,
I mean, if you want my opinion, I think Ketanji Brown is nothing more than a diversity hire in the Supreme Court.
She is. She's got a trouble history with the maps, as they would call them now.
Right.
She loved pedophiles. She loved the pedophiles. She loved them.
Yeah, she's got a career of basically letting a career and what they call them basic serial child predators off on light sentences.
Yeah, I covered that whole scandal when she was getting nominated, because the whole "what is a woman" thing was like great attention grabbing headlines, but I don't know that most people actually dug into some of the more scandalous cases that came in front of her. And yeah, bro, and not just like pedophiles, but apparently black pedophiles too, which is like
right.
double. Like, so you're just gonna let all these little black kids be in danger, huh?
So
it's funny how that happens so often.
The question I have is, with that now, how long is it going to take for her to start taking that type of that latitude of where she's already been in her previous career as a judge, and what was it, the Ninth Circuit or whatever it was, and do that on the Supreme Court and start rolling in this map shit and making that protected by the Constitution?
She is there for a reason. I'm telling you that it's not an accident that we have her. But before we continue too far along, I want to share something with you guys. This was I think I shared this clip with SKC. This is a movie that's about to come out, because we were kind of talking about the whole slave catcher thing. And I joke a lot about like actual slave history and stuff, how it's so different from what we learn. And I always say we got to have a period piece about a black plantation and all that. And the movie is coming out it's getting close to my fantasy. It's a movie coming out that's right where I want it to be.
You can control a man for a period with brute violence, but you cannot truly own a man unless he thinks your word is law and that he must obey, and is virtuous for doing so.
We are losing money. A little more every month that goes by with no end in sight. And they can sense weakness. And they are gonna smell blood like a gator to chum. They're gonna kill us both.
Mr. Scott said this man is a miracle worker. I think he can help us. You're a nigga.
Good people, good people. My name is Mr. Smith. As of this very moment, you are now all free. Free at last.
From now on, we are all in this together.
This plantation will run on equality. I've created something called Jones Plantation Credits.
We're gonna keep them up to their ears in that.
Jimmy Jack will now be in charge of our new security team to protect this plantation and to serve all of you. You two are gonna have a little contest to see who can win the hearts and minds of the human livestock out there.
Jones!
Most people are weak-minded to wield real power. You must be willing to do what most consider unthinkable.
What most people consider to be unthinkable is that men like you even exist.
That's our greatest advantage. As free people,
We work together for mutual benefits, living our love and loyalty to the Jones Plantation.
We are not free.
I ain't no slave.
They have tricked you into thinking that choosing your own master is the same as being free.
you offer them a truth that they don't want. They want to feel safe.
There's a dark thing going on in this plantation.
Justice!
Every man deserves freedom, but freedom isn't free.
I'm Nathaniel Jones, and I approve this message. God bless you, and God bless this glorious.
Toodaloo.
Ain't that
What
some
the
shit?
hell did I just watch?
I can't wait. I'm going to be tracking this movie down on opening day. I'm either in line or I'm pre-ordering the DVD.
Dude, why do I feel like I'd get lynched if I went to that theater showing?
I'm gonna
You're
lynch
going to
you.
have to watch it at home.
I'm gonna lynch you. My damn
Holy
self.
shit.
That's it. You getting it? That's strong.
I think I'm gonna take the boy to see that opening day.
Hey, that's definitely an independent film. Hollywood ain't bankrupt.
Oh, yeah.
And got their fingers on that one.
No, yeah, that looks so independent, but the idea is too original and it's too like tongue in cheek. So like, yeah, it has to be some real independent guys out there just trying to make a movie. But I saw this like a week ago and I was like, bro, this is so deep.
Yeah, that was
They have to have been listening to the Gulag, man.
that was real
I mean,
deep.
there was so many scenes on there. It's like, I don't know whether to laugh or
Cry.
Get pissed off.
maybe not cry, but just
That's
sort of
great
like,
writing. Like that was you don't even know what
Dude,
emotion you're supposed to have.
Bro, even I felt conflicted watching that trailer.
It sounded kind of true though. I'm just being
That's
honest.
what I'm saying. Like, because think about the time between the end of slavery and the peak of sharecropping, right? I imagine something like this had to happen.
Yeah, I could see that. That would make sense.
Well, I mean, there were accounts of freed slaves begging to be enslaved again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of those too. It's a real thing.
I mean,
That looked really interesting though. You got a black man standing up in the church. In the church. I mean, but this really would explain where a lot of people get the concept that Christianity is the that's one of the tools that the white man used to enslave black people. Well, yeah, it was. It don't make it any less valuable of information that there is actually a creator, but people can twist shit all the time. I mean, we
Well,
see it now.
I think you can use any religion, any doctrine in that same way. Any doctrine that's compelling enough can be bent in all kinds of ways. And I think Christianity just provides a vehicle for people who have that nature.
Especially since there's so many denominations of it.
Yeah, well, they did the same thing with science. So I mean,
True.
I
True.
mean,
True.
soon as Darwin's opinion came out or thoughts came out, I mean, they used that to run with a lot of racial tropes. So,
Hey, SKC, you don't trust the science?
Hell to the
what is this?
no. I trust the scientific method, but when people throw stuff up to science, it's like nah.
But the
When you
science is
say
settled.
the science like that, it almost sounds like a deification. It's like saying you don't trust Asherah.
But Hood, SKC, the science is settled.
Asherah
Well,
has spoken.
yeah. That's like scientism.
Exactly. Your
Or it's
Lord
not.
Morgoth has spoken.
Actually, I'm not
no,
gonna say it.
Dr.
I'm not gonna say
Fauci,
it.
the
I, I,
actual science has
I,
spoken.
I was gonna say that's what gets Tom Cruise jumping on couches. I'll stay away from that.
No, scientism and Scientology are radically different. It's similar phonetics, but no, it's a different thing. Scientism is more like what I was just kind of joking about when you make science sort of a god in and of itself, right? The scientific method is just a method, but we are kind of told that these people who call them scientists somehow have godlike infallibility, and then they'll tell you things like the science has spoken, and it's like, well, what exactly was the method you used? Shut up. The science has spoken. And that's what I
Right.
mean. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Scientology is a whole religious scheme. It's a whole thing to itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like not even following the very basic rules of the scientific method. Attempting to falsify your own hypothesis, observing things. None of those things are necessary according to quote unquote scientism.
Um, while we're talking about the Supreme Court, I wonder how long it will take for this type of thing to make it to the Supreme Court. And if it's not already matriculating, then you idiots on the right aren't really playing right. But this has to make its way to the Supreme Court at some point because there ain't no way.
It
Oh,
is official.
all
The
I know
Michigan House
is
has
I'm not
officially
visiting
passed a
Michigan
bill
anytime
that
soon.
can make it potentially a felony for you to use the wrong pronoun, which means you could actually be in jail.
No, get the fuck out of here.
You're under arrest.
That's right. HB 4474 says that if you make someone feel threatened by your words, then you can go to jail for up to 2 years and be fined for $10,000.
Lisa Simpson, you're under arrest.
And the bill, of course, also makes it so that gender identity and sexual orientation are protected classes in Michigan. Very recently, I covered another topic where I discussed Ireland introducing a bill that has almost been passed, that is almost identical to the one we're discussing about Michigan right now. And I said that it would have reverberating impacts throughout the West. And it is dangerous. It's dangerous because people could use this legislation to merely silence dissent. If they are offended and they are a protected class member, it doesn't even matter about your gender or your pronoun at that point. It could be any protected class member. If they're a black neocon and they decide they want to shit on your rights, call you a domestic terrorist and throw you in jail, and if you are a person looking in the periphery and you decide to criticize them, they could throw you in jail for criticizing them. Did you ever think about that? When U.S. leaders have bad policies, they will hide behind this legislation. It will not stop here. It didn't stop in Ireland. It's already in Michigan. Where do you think it's headed for next?
I had a buddy telling me about that a week ago.
I think black conservatives should be a protected class. I'm like a unicorn.
Hey, Big
I
Greg.
think we should make bullying great again because this is why we're in this debacle.
Absolutely.
Right. Like I said, I'm not visiting Michigan anytime soon.
Man, Michigan can go to hell.
Yeah,
Michigan's
not,
always
point.
been a shithole anyhow.
That's beside the point. Michigan first, then your house.
Michigan
next.
is basically Canada.
Yeah, Canada, then America. Like these things seem to happen in a chain. We are on a unending downward spiral at this point.
I have a question. True Hype alluded to it earlier, but I just want. Do you guys ever get tired of the low brow discussions that are coming around these type of topics? from Das Community. I mean,
Nobody's thinking two steps ahead, SKC, and like they're setting their own traps.
I mean, Das Communitas doesn't really even like to talk about these type of issues. Like, how many people in the community have actually, like, well, not even the community. Let me say it like this: how many people in the manosphere or in Black YouTube speak out against like the wild travesties that just happened during Pride Month? Right? Most Black people are very uninterested in the slow creep of this gender
well,
kind of language
well,
mafia.
I'm not even talking about when you get into the whole gender thing. I'm just take for instance like the whole AA thing, the affirmative action thing that happened. I reviewed a lot of commentary. I didn't hear anything that was too far beyond Joy Reid from the sphere. It's like I mean, it's like holy crap. I mean,
What do you expect
let me
when
shut
she's
up,
their
man.
head queen?
Well, maybe I should get
Let me
into
shut
the
up.
manosphere. Wait, hey, look, can I get an invite? Because I've been talking about this shit. I've been talking about it for 2 weeks now. I should go check my little short clips out. They funny as hell, but I mean, for real, if you just a regular dude, a regular woman that has any sense of morality, the distinction, or you have the ability to make a distinction between what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, what's disgusting, and if you have any sense of loyalty to your own family, let alone your own country, I mean, you got to look at this and be like, this shit is sick.
Dude, we're
Okay,
talking
this
about
Absolutely.
delusional ass women that have no loyalty to anything.
Yeah, but it's not even that, Snow Man. There's men. There's a dude I work with, right?
Well, right. They definitely helps with
Oh,
their
oh,
simping, kept projected on along even further than what it needs to be.
well, I'll even take it further than that. They have tacit support of the thing because they fund the very thing that they complain about. I was telling somebody about a particular production that said they hated this particular person. He happened to be a white male. The person that created the thing said, I hate white men and they should not watch my product. And he said, I don't care about that. And then he put money in their pocket. And I was like, that is stupid. That is the dumbest thing
Well,
ever.
well, true hype. They always hate the white man until the white man is padding their wallet.
No, but no. Even though it's something primarily that white men would view, they want this mythical audience. And he's like, well, I don't have anything new to watch, so I'm just gonna watch this. And I'm like, that's stupid. That is the dumbest thing ever.
That is dumb. You are correct. That's absolutely asinine.
Well, I
I'm
mean, we
not.
can't forget we actually have dumb people in the world. A
He,
lot of
he but he's not a unintelligent guy. I just like that's just such a dumb take. And SKC kind of reminded me about that. You'll have like rather intelligent people that have higher facilities, but they just completely shut them off.
yeah.
You know, one of the things about political thought, and especially when we're talking about like the Black community in particular, one of the issues with political thought is it kind of starts and ends with the female thought. There are very few men who are of note in any Black political circle that are openly disliked by women. Like, as a man, in order to really thrive in Black politics, you have to cross that hurdle of getting the female approval. And I think that like kind of it tilts the balance of rational thought into the feminine. And that's part of the reason why you get what you get when it comes to like these political stances. Even in the Black manosphere, like somebody in the comment was joking about how when I was telling that story about winning the crowd over to Nate, yeah, it is kind of messed up that even talking to a group specifically of men, you can't rely on facts and logic and reason. But that's part of the reason why you kind of have to. Chicks like stories, so
They do.
chicks kids like stories.
Hey, look, let me ask you a question.
I think they just like hearing the sound of their own voice personally.
Well, I'm talking about the men, though. That's what I mean when I said the chicks like stories. Their kids like stories, and that's kind of what you have to speak to. It's it is what it is.
No, I'm talking about the men that actually support this shit too. I think they just like hearing the sound of their own voice. They've literally been inundated with this feminine energy to where they think. I almost think that they want to be women. To be personally honest with you,
I was
Some
going to go
do.
there. I was going to go
Yeah,
there.
you got it.
I think they do, but I want to throw a quick question if I can, just along the lines. Now, when you were watching the Breakfast Club interview, all right, so Charlamagne and his other, actually the guy that does the MC, whose name I forget because I don't watch
DJ Envy.
Yeah, so DJ Envy, did you see? I mean, what did you see when they came out? Vivek was doing this thing, and then they brought the Queen Bee in, right? How they all just like, did you see it that way? Like I was looking at it like, okay, so they set the stage. Now you got to come through the gates to the Queen, and you got to answer to the Queen Bee. You know what I'm saying?
It almost
The way they
seemed
did that.
Yeah,
it almost seemed as though they were ill prepared to have the conversation, and then they kind of just quarterbacked it to, or just gave her the quarterback of the conversation, which is
That's a better way
weird.
of putting it. Yeah,
that's exactly
you know
what
why? You know why that is, right? Well, okay, one, Charlamagne had the issue that Kwame Brown brought up with the older case, right? I'm not even gonna say nothing about that. And then they just had their prominent female host, basically like leave the show on kind of bad terms. And they understand that, to continue having the money go, they have to have the female on board. They cannot ostracize a female. So they go out of their way because they know if they do anything else, it's going to F up the money.
And see, that's the position that men are in politically, and this is why I hate that it is this way. But it's not like you can just snap your fingers and change it. But women, the way the black women kind of have it in these situations, as the men, you don't want to ostracize them per se, but that has the effect of basically ostracizing yourself almost, because now it's like you have to be very careful about what you say. Almost you basically have to be careful about what you think. And that, like, it creates a whole kind of muted environment where now everybody's being phony because nobody wants to say what's real because the girl's going to get upset. And the whole thing, it makes it hard for actual like progress and useful, impactful conversation to be had.
One other thing that I find interesting when I listen to some other people have the conversation, um, you know how sometimes they'll be we'll play this game where we're at least trying to play devil's advocate to try to produce the better argument from the opposition. I rarely ever hear that in a lot of spots. Like take when people were having this conversation. I don't know about you, Greg, but let's say like when you were doing your show and you were talking about a variety of things about the affirmative action thing. Did you ever have someone to come up to actually give good, cogent, sound arguments to counter what you were citing?
To be honest, I couldn't get one person.
And that's what I mean. It's so weird. Like it's like there are some, but people, it's like they just don't even want to read.
Right. I couldn't get one. I made a few posts, one on Twitter, one on Facebook, a couple on Instagram, and I couldn't get one person to have a conversation about it. I did get 2 comments, but they were like, wow, or damn, nothing real, nothing substantial, and nobody would come on the panel and have a discussion about it. And I'm open for it. We don't have to agree. We can talk about it. But I couldn't get one person.
Well, with the whole reading aspect of it, you got to understand most of these people, when they read something, they got to read it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times before they can actually comprehend what it is they just read. That's why they don't want to read.
That's false. That's false. We live in the age of Chat GPT.
Yeah.
If you don't understand legalese, you can clip that thing and then tell Chat GPT to explain it to you like a 5th grader, and it will. So it's like there's no excuses at this point.
But that means you're actually thinking that people are going to do their due diligence to try and figure it out. You're making assumptions. You're making assumptions. You're making assumptions about people that like to make assumptions about people.
its inception.
Well, you want to think good about people. You want to think the best, about some people. Everybody can't be dumb, right? But on that same topic, like that really just connects to affirmative action. It's like really so. I don't understand how anybody is looking at affirmative action and saying, "Okay, this is a hand up." No, what you're doing is you're calling people handicapped. You're saying people are incapable of competing educationally and being able to get into institutions based on educational merit. And it's just like we're too dumb to go get a damn $15 ID card to vote. I mean, those are insults, man, to me.
Well, that's what I find weird about this whole conversation with Joy, with Joy Reid and all those people, because now they're making it seem like any black person with a degree got it through affirmative action. There's no other way that a black person can attain something unless it's affirmative action.
I
Now,
believe that.
Ain't that messed up too, man?
here's the funny thing, right? I've been in certain spaces, and the same people that's fighting for your affirmative action, when they get mad with you, they'll turn right around and say, "You're only here because of affirmative action." That's it. And again, I've heard it several times.
Facts. That's how it works.
From those people that say they want affirmative action for you.
Look, bro.
That's very interesting. And as far as the clip with that woman, because I'd watched that clip earlier. Oh, the only thing she wanted to hear was he was marching in the street for black rights. She had no deeper thought, no deeper conversation beyond that. Her whole thing was, look, what did I did in my school in 6th grade? I organized. It was all about activism, as someone rightly pointed out earlier. It's a really weird space. I think that black people need to take a look and look at what's actually being said about them, because they're not paying attention to what the people that are claiming they have their best interests are actually saying about them. That's the part where they need to get a little bit of education.
It must be Richard Spencer. It might as well be Richard Spencer in some of the cases or whatever, talking on behalf of black folks. It's so like backhanded.
Okay.
Well, I think one of the things about the Breakfast Club interview, if you want to call it that, interrogation, better. She was ill qualified to have the conversation. Everybody knows that nobody wants to say it. I mean, that should be, you know how people play that little meme. I forget which show, which movie it was from, but it was like, man, this is the stupidest thing that someone could have possibly have ever stated, and we're all dumber for listening to. That's
Billy Madison.
Yeah, that's a glaring example of that within Das Communitas.
Can I interject?
Nobody was edified by anything that she had to say at all.
I'm going to give it to you 1 second, dirty folks, but that is exactly why we want to close the door behind Clarence Thomas, because it's too many women like that who think they're actually worth something because they got in the door. Dirty folks, you got it.
You guys keep using double entendres. You keep saying black and then women, and you keep including yourselves in black, and I don't like that. Affirmative action was for women. Both in the workplace and in education, because these girls are getting degrees and coming out and they can't count. I did a whole videos of college girls who can't count.
No, fair enough. That's been my one of my attacks is exactly that. Like, affirmative action is doing everything to help these girls that you keep talking about all day. Because I was talking about the guys in the manosphere who support it. Like, bro, you double-minded right now. But go ahead,
no, hold on, because I want to add to what he just said. What he said is actually truth. Because you remember that one stream you did where there was that one black girl on there that said that she had a degree in reading law.
Reading law, bro. I can read law.
Okay, secondly,
I can even interpret it too. Shit.
I should drop the link. I did. I have a second channel called the Comedy Report where I try to make news funny, right? And then I couldn't, and then I realized y'all just think I'm funny when I'm serious, so I just went with it. Anyway,
yes, yeah, do that.
So I already did. So So Lil Big Nate inspired me. He texted me the other day. He was like, finish your series. I'm doing a series on how Chicago became a sanctuary city. And I started in the year 2010, right? With the school closing that all the refugees in Chicago are at now, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, yo, Chicago was run by nonprofits, and nonprofits are run by women, and women are dumb, right? So because they can't think 3 steps ahead, if you offer them a carrot, they eat the carrot, and then the people take your house for a carrot, right? And I'm going through it, and it's really entertaining because I was there. That's an inside joke between me and my little cousins, because I got little cousins that be like, my mama said such a, like, that ain't happening. I was there. Like, I was there. Like, I'm like, sometimes I show myself in pictures at the meetings while I was there, and they were fucking up, and I'm telling them in real time, y'all fucking up. And they're like, you just hate black people. And I'm like, no, you just dumb. So that's when I decided to be. No, that was part of my transition of hating women righteously. Like, it wasn't a sexual thing. It was like, y'all bitches is dumb. Y'all
Oh my
kill us
God.
all.
Are you actually saying this to people?
Yeah.
Every day of his life, man,
Oh,
and we love
shit.
him for it.
Oh
Hey,
my
hey,
God.
Greg, you wanted
No.
an invite to the Manosphere, and we are one of the we like the bleeding edge. Like the
Okay.
Manosphere doesn't even want to play this hard, so just be warned.
Okay.
So
I'm
here's
just tripping.
the key though. Here's the key. Because I say this all the time too. You have to choose if you want to be a man or if you want to be black, because you cannot be both. And once you decide you want to be a man before anything, then we're all going to join the clan and we're all going to attack the blacks.
White hoods for everyone.
Man, no, I don't want a white hood though. I want my designer like lime green.
Nah, dude, you ain't getting no plated gold, nothing with spinners on it. A white plain hood for everyone.
Hey, just think of that Dave Chappelle skit. That's
shit.
all we're going to be in.
Is this allowed? This is permitted?
Yeah, this man said, he
Hey, bro,
said,
hey,
look,
Greg, listen. It's funny you asking that, and I was just looking in the back chat. Yo, thank you for sharing the stream, but you should have thought about that before you shared the stream.
Look, I'm gonna share
Hey,
this.
the Gulag's still undefeated in debate, though.
Hey, look,
We
I let
are,
people
man.
make their own decisions, hood. Hey, if this for you, it's for you. If it ain't, no, just keep it moving.
Nah. This is just a conversation over here. But like, here's the thing, though. This is the seriousness under the jokes, right? The reality that we live in is so far away from like what's actually like functional and proper and working, that when we joke about these things, it sounds so extreme. But the truth is, we're so far from truth that truth is extreme.
That's where I'm at, but that's why I don't hold nothing back, maybe a little bit, because I done had streams cut off in the middle of them, but I'm with that. Like, I believe that the truth, look, we've been so eloquently lied to for so damn long in this country that we can't handle the staunch, direct, right in your face truth. And like you said, the truth is extreme. So I just go in.
I don't even know the lies were eloquent.
Well,
I just think they suffice
Barack
at this point.
was fascinating. I'm talking about Barack, because he started that eloquent line bullshit. At least he took it to a whole nother level.
He was great.
I'll give you Barack. But in all, I wouldn't argue the lies have been so eloquent. They've just been actually subtly reinforced. And that's very powerful. Like, everywhere you go, the lie is there, and you have to operate in it at every turn.
No, there's only one lie. There's only one lie, and all other lies come from that one lie to protect that one lie.
That's the female vagina. It's the big lie.
Right. The lie for black people is that in order to be a man, you have to protect your woman. And based on that lie, everything else subsequently, as long as we take care of these dumbass toddlers, we can do whatever we want to do to the colors, because they don't even know that they women ain't shit.
Hey, Free Zone. Oh, I'm sorry, I won't cut you.
I was just gonna say that was the civil rights movement. That's why that men included women in the civil rights movement. That's why if you ever think about all the times that black cities get destroyed, it was always over a woman, either white or black. So black men in particular, they put their masculinity around women instead of around merit, and that's that one lie, the one lie that destroyed us all. You know what I mean?
And now white men are falling for that delusion.
Hey, I want to give Free Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're going to get to your clip in a second, SKC.
Nah, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all know how I say I'm not black, I'm Free Zone. What's good, everybody? Happy 4th, you know what I'm saying?
Same to you,
I
Free
came up
Zone.
here to talk
The
about the
American.
yes, sir, yes, sir. In regards to that, the part that stuck out to me with the Breakfast Club interview, that's why I actually came up here, was this detachment from service and capitalism. Like if you do like let's say I make a car that no longer needs gas that helps everybody up here. Because I benefited somehow from that, that no longer counts because it wasn't a selfless act, which is
Yeah.
weird in a field of politics where nobody does anything to be selfless. It's a favor for favor thing. It's a what do I get for what you know. It's a both parties must be satisfied kind of thing. So to present it in this weird selfless, you got to do something that doesn't benefit you but benefits everybody else was kind of retarded to me.
Okay.
Free zone. You know what? That is so hypocritical when the black position is entirely selfish. Give me this. You owe me that. I deserve these things. That is the whole black political position. Yet when it comes to this man, he has to be selfless and he has to give his heart to you in order for you to trust him a little bit. Like that's nuts. But Dirty Folk, you about to say something?
Hey,
Okay.
but
I have a parable. Well, actually, not even a parable. This actually happened in real life. Um, to eloquate free zone. First of all, before I tell the story, and it's gonna be real quick. When black men do something, they name the thing. So you wouldn't have the car. The car would be called no gas car. In NGC Motors made a no gas car. It would not be free zone loop, right? So because when black men do something, they name the thing. Black Wall Street. Never mention O.W. Gurley. When black women do something, they name the woman. Madam C.J. Walker. They never mention the calm. You know what I'm saying? With that
That's
Oh yeah,
interesting. Never thought
oh
about that.
yeah.
with that being said, part of your marketing of marginalism. Here's how this works. I used to be a mortgage broker. I remember this guy was so man. I need to holler at Lee. He was black, but his wife was white, and everybody else was white. I was the only black person there besides him, and he actually told me he hired me because I was intelligent. And you know what I'm saying, but everybody else had to be white because niggas is dumb. He didn't say that, but he had a white wife, so I assume that's how he felt. Anyway, so Lee told me the realest shit. He said, when you give the when you meet a couple, this isn't like the early 2000s, there were still couples. They still existed. He said, when you meet a couple, you tell the husband the price once. Then you keep reiterating the amenities to the wife, and she'll sell the house no matter the cost.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yep, that's how it goes. Yep.
Well, and to be frank, that's how men are thinking anyway. It's not even so much a manipulation as getting directly to the human essence, right? Because when a man is walking through a home, he's not as emotionally attached to like the vision of I'm gonna put this here and this is the dining room and oh honey, this will be my little work area so I can do all my arts and crafts. And see, the woman is having all these palpitations, but in his mind he's like, all right, so I'm getting this much room for this much money. Okay, let's see how big the other room is, and so I figure out how much money I'm spending on this room. It's a whole different measurement for men.
Right. And the black community is run by women and men who listen to women with clothes on.
That's
So
why they stage houses. They're staged for women.
you'll have a situation where if I told you that Chicago became a sanctuary city just so refugees could run black people out of community so Obama could get a library, would you believe me?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Of course, that's how things work.
Oh
Sad to
no, I want a
say that.
studio though. I want a room large enough to put my whole studio in. That's about it. The yard maybe, but the rest of the shit, I don't care about that. How much it costs? How much it costs?
They're selling black people the amenities, and black men are like, that's dumb. But there's so many black women who shouldn't be allowed to vote who be like, but I like that.
You know something, dirty
So
folks.
many women in general, sir.
All
I,
women
I
are black.
agree with you on that whole point about the whole black thing because I almost use the analogy of the whole Lord of the Rings thing. Blackness is the one ring to rule them all. It's like they can't let go of it at all. I mean, I've seen so many people make arguments for a mythical blackness, and they can't even define what it is.
Well,
They just
like
know I
Golem.
gotta hold on to it, like Smeagol.
SKP. The intersectional feminists can separate, and some of the lettuce, bacon, tomato people can separate as well.
No, they can't because they're the new black. They still need the brand.
Hey, SKC, I want you to walk us through this clip here you sent in the back chat. So this is Meg Kelly speaking with, I forget who the other guy's name is, but somebody else is on. Mark Stein. Yeah, he's great. But Meg Kelly and Mark Stein. So what was in this clip here? It's at
Yeah,
about a minute 40.
I would put it at like 1.5, and you don't have to play all of this. It's not even close to all of it, but
Damn, she look good.
basically they make the argument that so many people on this affirmative action issue are making arguments that basically state Asians are smart, but dumb redneck white people have duped them. Black people can achieve this and that. However, the ones that can do it without affirmative action, the redneck white people have duped them to pull up the ladder. It's like
that argument is actually being used broadly. So when it comes to the Muslims rebelling against Pride Month, I'm watching a clip of Jen Psaki saying that these Republicans tricked the Muslims into hating the gays.
Right. and that's why it says at the top there, Asians and Muslims, because that's the same argument. They're stating that the dumb redneck have duped the Muslims, and it's like it just doesn't make any sense. So
Oh,
I thought it was kind of funny.
Wait. So, in other words, they're saying that a dumb redneck is actually running the country better than a white liberal?
No. They're saying dumb rednecks are tricking all the poor people of color into being dumb rednecks like them.
Well, actually, what they're saying is that people that are not, basically what they're saying is people that are not white cannot do anything, do not do anything without white people telling them. That's actually what they're saying if you really look at it.
They're not
Whether
smart
it
enough to reason. Yeah.
whether it's a white redneck or whether it's a white liberal, that is actually what they're saying, that everyone else that's not white only can move based on something someone white is telling them.
So that begs the question, what does that make a white liberal then?
The savior.
Right.
The most racist white person on the planet. That's
right.
what.
But you're still listening to a white person, even if you join the opposite side.
What is it called?
Jesus whites.
The white.
I mean, it's just like Charlemagne and them sitting.
You teach me all my life that the white man is the devil. You teach me my whole life that the white man is the devil. Now you tell me it's all right for him to come among us.
Yeah, you know us crackers, we always got some underlying ulterior motive on why we mess with blacks.
All right. Let me get through this clip. Let me let this play.
Let her talk.
Right.
Deal hard to turn down if you're a wine lover like I am. Just visit Bonner, BONNER, privatewines.com/MKS to claim your bonus bottle and become a part of America's most unique wine club.
Of course, Megyn Kelly's a wine aunt.
She's a wino. They're all wine.
Mark, welcome back to the show.
Hey, great to be with you, Megyn.
Great to have you. So it's so crazy when you read the reaction to the Supreme Court saying affirmative action will be struck down. Race-based admissions policies are contrary to the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution. And the left reacting with, there was never any discrimination. It's just the evil white people who led the Asians to believe that. Before I play you some of the sound bites, let me read you what at least one honest writer in The New Yorker said explicitly, right? So they've already given up the game. Some lefties have already admitted, yes, we've been doing it. Here's the truth. Saying the evidence the plaintiffs had amassed that Harvard in particular discriminated against Asian applicants through a bizarre and unacceptable, quote, personal rating system is overwhelming. And indeed, that's true. I mean, the court laid it out in great detail how they've been using personality scores to get rid of the Asians, to say in the same way they used to do with the Jews. This time it was they had too many Asians who were above the grade. They had to find some way of telling them they didn't qualify for admission, and they used their personalities to get rid of them. So, if you'd replaced Asian with black, these same leftists who are now disputing that New Yorker piece would be outraged. But now, since it's Asian Americans who benefited and arguably blacks who didn't, they've got to push ridiculous narratives like this one from NPR. Listen to this, Mark.
There's no evidence that there's a practice of anti-Asian discrimination. Predominantly white conservative political forces are leveraging this experience of being racially marginalized among Asian Americans to say, yeah, and by the way, there's this policy that you're not benefiting from.
I feel like Asian Americans have been used.
Wait, hold on. You know what's so weird about this? Isn't that exactly what people did to black people? Isn't that exactly how the whole civil rights thing got started? Somebody started whispering in black people's ear like, hey, psst, you know those white folks is working against you, right? Like, psst, you know that white man, he ain't treat you like that by accident, right? And the next thing you know, we shall overcome. Why can't the Asians overcome now? God damn, that's so crazy.
They got lower bone density and muscle mass, man. They can't.
Their tiptoes and they like their ass.
Oh, it's because they're short. That's why they can't overcome, huh? It's because they're short.
Yeah, they're short. Asians
well, and they walk with a slant.
They got little feet.
He's so stupid.
The myth ignores the long legacies of systemic racism faced by Black Americans. It ignores selective recruiting of highly educated immigrants, and it enforces a false story about Asian Americans who are not a monolith.
That is their latest position, that they were basically smart enough to get into Harvard, but too dumb to realize that they were just political pawns of the whites.
Yeah, I can't get over the naked racism, actually, about Asians here, because this whole personality thing is like, oh, yes, they're very brainy. They're awfully good at mathematics. If you hold a math contest, a train is approaching at 57 miles an hour, and another one's coming towards it at 38 miles an hour. Oh, yeah, I got it. They're fabulous for that, but let's face it, they're totally boring. I mean, this is basically, I can't get over that. This is like the old racist gag from however many decades ago, you know, all Chinese look alike, all Chinese have the same boring personality, but you can.
It's amazing.
They've got.
Couldn't this same argument be used for the sisterhood?
All right, back
Get out of there! Get out of there!
I'm just saying.
Say it again, Snowman. Say it again.
More than cannon fodder for the leftist, liberal, progressive white women.
Bail out, man! Bail out!
No, I'm keeping it a buck, man. Somebody needs to.
Hey, you don't have enough melanin to make that argument, sir.
I don't need melanin. You don't need melanin to address
talk, sir. Talk.
Your argument is melanin deficient, sir.
Right. You don't have the right skin tone to make the argument.
It's the 4th of July. It's your day. Talk your talk, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm just saying. I am just saying.
It is
everything that we heard them arguing about, complaining about with these freaking Orientals. I mean, the Black Sisterhood is doing the exact same thing. The exact same.
We didn't all agree. You all agreed. Nobody asked the whites how they felt. Nobody cares what the whites have to say.
I think True Hype said it best. You can't get Juneteenth without 4th of July.
So. That's what I'm saying. Listen, it fucked me up because I wanted to know because, you know, a lot of this nonsensical rhetoric coming out of the left, I don't even know to call them a left, out of the idiots, is slavery never ended in America. It just changed forms. That was the whole argument. You know, they talking about the 14th Amendment, was the 13th Amendment, I'm sorry, didn't end slavery. It just said if you broke the law, you could be thrown back into slavery. And I'm like, is that what we doing? So we just over to be able to fuck the whole world up and not go to jail.
Yeah, but those same people will call the police on somebody that's, you know, violating them, right? But then they advocate for no police.
Always quick to call the Klan on the black man.
Didn't advocate for no police.
It's buffoon.
Sir, they're advocating for no. They're advocating for no police in your neighborhood. The people that are advocating for no police don't live in the neighborhoods that they're advocating for no police. I venture to say they actually write checks for their police in their neighborhood. When those letters come in the mail and do you want to write a check for the police? They write the checks, they go to the dinners, and they make sure that their neighborhoods are well protected. They're just advocating for other people to not have well protected neighborhoods.
Don't you go over there stealing not their cars now. They're going to jail.
gotten away with it in the interest of this absurd, complex, progressive apartheid that's been erected in this country. And the NPR story is fascinating, where they say, oh, yeah, these Asians, they're all very brainy when it comes to these math questions at, the grade school math question. But they're actually patsies, they're rubes, they're dupes, which is why the knuckle-dragging white redneck is able to use them as a front for overturning affirmative action. I honestly, I looked it up, actually. A professor at Duke University ran the numbers on how it would go if they had meritocratic admissions at Harvard. In other words, if they didn't grade you on your boring personality, 51.52% of the student body would be Asian and 36.54% would be white. That's how it would go on meritocratic admission. So this attempt from the rubble of the Supreme Court decision to reconstruct a coalition of the minorities, actually, Asians on a meritocratic business, according to this study from Duke University, would have actually the majority of places at Harvard.
Right.
Can I just say that knuckle-dragging redneck mayonnaise monkey comment was the greatest thing I've heard in quite some time?
Damn right.
About time you got some shine.
Wait, I don't think you have enough melanin to make that argument, though, Snowman.
I don't even have enough melanin to make the argument about a knuckle-dragging redneck mayonnaise monkey?
No, I have to make the comment for you as your black representative, and then I have to send it to committee, and then...
Oh, Jesus Christ, we got to have like a whole parliamentary procedure fucking course over this?
We're going to be debating, and it might be a fist fight. Somebody's going to throw a shoe.
Y'all out of control.
You know that just reminded
Do we
me
need to take this to the General Assembly too and have them vote on this shit?
Yeah, but you can't be there.
Yeah, you can't.
Let's send it to the Supreme Court.
Here.
Oh, it's a blind vote. I'm just going in blind now.
Man, y'all didn't dip Greg Kelly in too deep into the. he like, God damn.
Hey, I tried to warn Greg about what this was about over here before he came over here.
Hey man, look, I told you,
no man lying.
Bro. We gonna go mudding. Now, me and Greg, me and Snowman, we gonna go mudding. We gonna make it work, bro. But look, I have to speak for you, and then after I speak for you, then you just say yeah, whatever, right?
Well, where were you the other night when I was taking on a whole panel of a whole pack of angry black women's on a panel?
Well, here's what happens, right? I only have man exemption. I don't have toddler exemption, right? I don't have that package. So, like when I talk to toddlers, all they're gonna say is that I'm a piece of crap and I should never have kids and I'm probably gay and I hate my mom. So it doesn't work the same. I got to take it to Parliament, bro. We got to do something different. With black women, this is what we gotta do. With black women, I have to find a T, right? And then I'll have the T speak for us, and then the T will take it to, you know what I'm saying?
No, see, I like just going in there like a wrecking ball and pissing them all off.
That is the new model for Democrats. That's the only way they want to address male issues, is if a woman becomes a man and it doesn't go so well.
Damn. Hey, dirty folks.
What up?
Hey, because we got to meet our quota of sayings. Who hurt you?
And I'll tell you what I tell them. You hurt me. You alone hurt me. And then they don't know what to say.
I mean, that
follow up.
There is something in the Asian culture which is to be admired, that dedicates itself, that in which parents, rich and poor, are committed to education, to studying hard, to pushing academics. That's to be applauded. I mean, I've talked about this with Amy Chua many times, who wrote Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother. She's the original Tiger Mom, about how she's committed to this. She teaches at Yale Law. So does her husband. She has two daughters who went, I think, to Harvard and Yale, and same with respect to their graduate studies. And I'm just not willing to push my kids that hard. You know, I have a different approach than she does. That's fine, right? That's fine. It leads to different results at the college level if they're not coming up with these false justifications, as you point out, that the Asians are boring and therefore.
Yo, you know what? Why can't we just say that as a people? And let me not even say we, because, you know, dirty folks, you are right. And actually, this is a point I've made too previously, independently. But when it comes to the raising of children and the products that you produce as a parent, by and large, black women have to take like 95% of the blame. for the outcomes. Blame or praise, in the moments of praise, let them have that too. But when it comes to like the low scores, like the fact that there are entire cities now, there are at least 3 cities I can name off the top of my head where the kids can't read. And you need to just be honest with yourself. Listen, my kid ain't going to Harvard because I didn't make a Harvard baby.
Okay, here's my running joke. How come all the teacher chicks have babies who can't read? Like how did you square that circle? Think about it. Think about it.
Okay, this is
How did you
becoming pro.
square that
This is
circle?
becoming this is
Too
becoming
too
pro
busy.
eugenics, which I like because you know what, this needs to go down that rabbit hole.
No,
No,
it's not
think about
eugenics.
this.
It like
Think about
you can have Michael Jordan, but if you don't practice dribbling the basketball and shooting the damn thing, he ain't gonna do nothing.
Right. It's not even a
That's true.
eugenics. It's not even purely genetic argument because we're talking about, like, when I said you didn't make a Harvard baby, it's not just the genetics. Like, if your kid is born with like genius level IQ, but you somehow a crack mama gave birth to a genius level IQ baby, he's gonna be the smartest crack baby ever. Like, can you imagine how great that's not gonna be?
Yeah, but yeah,
Like,
The
like hood,
smartest crack baby.
follow that a little bit more.
You
So
don't
think of how many generations of like intellects we are doing a poor service to.
No, worse than that. Because I would be that genius heroin baby. But check this out. This is how that works. It's it's not even the culture that you can't make a genius. I know a lot of geniuses. I know a lot of geniuses that sold crack. Big time. But here's my point. It's about the culture. Girls are dumb. Can we all agree that girls are dumb? Not that they're intellectually incapable. They just, as a general auspice, they just dumb people.
No, they're intellectually incapable too.
Okay, cool. Now, if girls are dumb, but they want to be equal, that means they have to dumb down the boys, right? So that's why the culture is to hate intelligent men. Next thing you know, you sound white, you talk white, you want to be white, because any show of greatness.
Hey man, white is right, dirty folks.
Hey, yeah, white is right and black is whack. I agree. So, but you don't have enough melanin to say that though. So the what happens culturally is we have to dumb down the boys from K through 3. It's not a Harvard problem. It's they build prisons off of 3rd grade test scores, and your son can't read because of you problem.
remember, who's the staff on that prison to school pipeline? I mean, the school to prison pipeline. Who are the staff? Who are the
All
conductors?
liberal women,
Liberal white women.
black women.
Bunch of black
No,
women
I'm
too.
about to say
With their
black
with their black puppets that they puppet master through.
Because if you go into these urban districts and you go into, Memphis, Chicago, St. Louis, or whatever, and just Google the school board membership, right? I guarantee you're going to see a lot of overweight black women.
Why
And
they
it's
always
right
Correct.
here.
overweight too? Why they always overweight?
Bro, it's a thing. I don't know
Well,
why.
because
Don't
diets
point
are
it out
racist,
to me.
man.
No, because they sit back at the desk and eat ding dongs all day.
I heard
No,
that.
I
dude,
did hear
diets
one
are
lady.
racist.
Diets
Oprah
are
proved it already.
I did hear Brittany Cooper blame Trump that she blamed the Trump presidency for her weight, and she's still big now. So I mean,
So
She was
we got
big
we got to go
before
to
that,
the
though.
tape. We got to
She
go
was
to the
big.
tape though. Was she big before Trump?
She was big before
Of
Trump because she
course.
sat back and ate
But
ding
she
dongs
got
all day.
bigger after Trump because her spoon didn't have no stop.
She's a ding
for all
dong
I know,
eater.
she was born that
She had a
size. You came
teaspoon.
out that way.
Yeah, imagine being so mentally incapable that someone says Trump is the reason why I gain weight. Trump presidency is the reason why I gain weight, and people actually take you serious. I hope no one took that moron serious.
Well, Black Thoughts. There was actual like a Oprah show where they were sitting there. There were 2 black women on there trying to convince people in the audience and on the panel that diets were racist. Like literally racist.
Well, they had the Civil Rights Museum. Being on time was like a white quality, right? Stuff like that.
No, I'm telling you, I had an idea. I haven't really worked it out properly, but there's basically a drinking game I'm trying to think of where, like, if you can name something and then the other person has to tell you a reason why it's racist, and then if you got to look it up and see if it's true, and then somebody has to take a drink. I got to figure the details out, but I'm telling you, there's so many things that have been called racist now. You can just name something like rubber, and they'll give you the racist history of some company or something like that. You could just name a thing, and they'll be like, "This is why it's racist."
Math is racist. It's racist,
I
and
was
it's
just about to
biased
say
toward
math
Asians.
is racist. Yeah, you took me right on that.
Dude, all of the qualities that
you
will
already
make
been
you
there.
all the
Ethno
qualities that
mathematics.
all the qualities that lead to success in life are all racist, white supremacy, white splaining bullshit.
Highways are racist.
But here's the deal, man. Black people are a symbol-minded people, so you can make anything racist as long as you apply it to a symbol.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
Well,
highway is
here's a-
racist. What
here's
kind of
another
symbol is the
question.
highway? It's the highway. Roads
But
are racist.
No, man. You got the lines. You
Yeah,
know
the
what I'm
line's
saying?
racist.
No,
Yeah, you
no,
gotta read.
no. The
The
actual
fact that they
story,
got white mayonnaise lines on the road is racist.
no, the fact that the actual story that they're going to tell you is that they built highways over black neighborhoods, and so that it's like you're driving over black death, basically. You're driving over
That lake you like to go jet ski in, that's actually on top of a black community that got put underwater.
Well, Hood. As soon as you play this, I want to chime in on this because it shows you how ridiculous
Ain't it
some of the
ridiculous? Have you
counter
seen this clip?
arguments.
This is ridiculous.
So I
No,
got one more question.
Well, I haven't.
Calm down. Go ahead,
I haven't seen the clip, but I'm talking about so far as the counter argument because a lot of times, and I don't. And Greg, I'm not talking about just like the people on the outside. I'm talking about inside of the sphere that state that they understand policy and all of that stuff. When you go into this, I want to show you how ridiculous they are in their reasoning.
Okay.
All right, let me get to the clip. And one of y'all eating chicken wings, you got to mute up if you ain't sharing.
Oh shit.
My bad.
Hey, you could be eating glizzies on 4th of July.
Election, what you're seeing is severe backlash in the sense that people do not want to see black and brown people excel in this country.
Do you think it's a setback?
What is an olive person doing speaking for black people?
Hey, she's
Well, it's
brown.
definitely a setback for social mobility through education.
These decisions over the last 24 hours are essentially making it harder for a range of communities to go to college and seek a higher education.
This represents an extremist minority who's determined to bring the country back to a time when we could not attend the same schools, eat at the same restaurants.
Which is the white liberals.
All right, stop right there, Hood. Okay.
people. No, this
How
is about the
ridiculous was
plumber.
that statement, brother?
Women, gays, and felons. They're the blacks, and they just showed you.
No,
But
that's
really,
the
how ridiculous
fear.
was that?
That's the fear that you're supposed to live in as a black. This is why we've been joking about this. I know you're new to some of these concepts, and we're just going straight ahead with it, like you've been here forever, Greg. But the concept that we're kind of working on is that you kind of have to get above your blackness, especially as a man, because it's basically like contrived to keep you in a box. And so this is the box right here. All that they're saying are they're going to put you back in chains. They want to send you back to the 50s. That's the box. And as a black man, you get trapped in this box, and they want to keep you afraid of this thing that doesn't exist. And it wasn't the way they tell you it was in the first place.
The main thing is they want to keep you away from talking and having conversation with the white man, because they realize once the black man and the white man get together and actually starts seeing eye to eye, then their whole delusion is going to come collapsing like a house of cards.
Hey, there you go right there. So there's a very famous picture with Fred Hampton, right? He is at a meeting with the white Confederates in Chicago with like Puerto Ricans and a whole cross section. Although I don't agree with some of his prescriptions, like most of the videos pictures that you would see of that meeting, they crop out the Confederate flag because they don't want you to know that these people were talking. That is the most dangerous thing.
I've been trying to research this picture, and all I can get is in the AP page where you got to pay to use the picture. So fuck you, I'm using it for free. But Yeah, I just want to know the story behind this image right here.
I
Like,
know the story. I know the
I
story.
mean, he's
no,
standing
you
side
don't.
by.
God damn
He
it, dirty
stand,
folks.
Wait, I know the
but
story.
this
Dude,
picture,
somebody said something about chicken wings. He showed up.
See, he know the story
that
too. He know the
the
story.
mere fact that he's standing side by side, I'm trying to
Next
show
to
these
a
folks
white
that
woman.
next to a white woman. So it's like, how do you explain this? If the
Just explain it.
KKK and the South is all racist, how do you explain this picture?
I got a theory about that. You see the guys in the back, and he's like holding a baby, and there's like a little girl next to him, right behind the black guy. See, he's explaining to the kids that's the one that we keep. The rest of them niggas got to go.
Yo,
Wait,
shit.
and
Well,
wait,
look, this guy showed up because he was tired of the black woman calling the Klan on him, so he figured he would have his own meeting with the Klan and try and get this shit
I wonder if
resolved.
that's my great grandfather. Look, that man is me. It's me, man. Look, I'm telling you, there's another guy that's missing. No, listen. What I'm about to tell you. There's another black guy that's missing, and you can't see him because he's the one taking the picture.
No,
right?
he's the one clearing the back by the cross, man.
No,
You
no,
can
no, no,
almost
no, no.
you can almost see his teeth and eyeballs.
No,
dirty
no, no. That's
folks.
a black woman. Look, because she got pregnant by a white man.
Nah, see, you ain't gonna see no black women at a Klan meeting.
No. They're about to put her on the stage.
Bullshit. Bull fucking
I'm about to
shit.
say, yeah.
The black women
What
are the
is she
ones
going?
that got their hood
What
on.
is she?
Them bitches got
Is she
whole
the
clan husbands.
sacrifice?
No, they are secretaries. You don't
Yeah, they're
sacrifice a
secretaries.
good secretary? What's wrong with you? You was a white man. You should know this.
Yeah, it's the black guy behind the camera, and it's the black guy taking the picture. And those two black men represent why the Klan isn't racist, because they got two black friends.
Well, look, have you
Well,
ever
I'll
noticed
chime
when
in
you
on
when
the whole
wow.
on the whole
Oh, look, just for the record, that video gets worse. If you want to finish it, it's just a couple more clips. That shit funny as hell.
Yeah, I still got it.
Yeah. On that whole thing about the what was that? They were talking about the student loan thing. Okay, so Greg, you know, what would be one of the major arguments that a lot of the black people put up about the student loan thing? What do they say as a counter?
Well, I mean, first of all, they want to keep it. You don't look no further than Joy Reid and her philosophy on this is the only reason. And without this, in essence, I wouldn't have got there. And I think what they're really saying is, again, I said it earlier, is that black people are incapable of going to college on the premises of merit alone. And I disagree with it. What do you think?
Well, one of the things that I heard a lot, and you guys let me know if I'm wrong, a lot of things that I heard was, well, they bailed out the banks.
I heard that too.
Why can't they just such and such and such and such? And these are the people that are stating expressly that they understand policy, they understand government and all these things. And it's like, okay, again, a cursory look will show you that the banks were bailed out by Congress. It's like there was the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I mean,
so
when
when it goes to the whole thing about the student loans, it did not pass Congress.
Right.
So it's like, what are you talking about?
They want to circumvent
like
Congress.
the dude can't do that by himself. They're talking about, well, they can't do it, and why didn't he do it? It's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
But the community response is, but why does it matter though? It passed, so it would like. Why does that matter though?
But
pass is passed, right? SKC.
But then check this out, Friezo. Then they'll state, okay, but then they'll get mad at SCOTUS for not going along with it. When SCOTUS' response was, no, you can't get this passed this way through us. It has to go through Congress.
Okay,
That's the only way it can be done. If it
What?
was done this way, then you would at that point be able to create a presidential dictator.
But
What
they
are you talking
cited,
about?
but they cited Nancy Pelosi when they came down with their ruling as well.
Yes, they did.
Nancy Pelosi said from the beginning it has to go through Congress. I don't understand what these people don't realize.
Okay, I can help you with that. Bass tax. Because I got a guy in the Philippines right now who's setting up this whole bootleg to America pipeline for me. Let me explain something to you. Black is for women, and women can't count. Women don't really like money. They don't really understand money. They just like stuff. If they can get the stuff without the money, they'll do that, right? So they don't care where money comes from. To them, money is an imaginary concept, but they still need it because Birkin bags cost, right? So you can't. When he plays these clips, I don't even have to know the next clip, and I know there's going to be two white women, a black woman, an Asian woman, and a gay black man.
Damn, you smart.
Because those are the voices of the heterosexual, hardworking, no criminal record man. And guys go along with it because guys think they're black, so they think women are speaking for them. These chicks.
As a matter of fact, from this point on, you the hood prophet.
Let's get to that.
I mean, this
That's the theory.
fuck my whole clip up.
Yeah, no, we're gonna let the theory play out.
It's so ridiculous. It's like someone sitting up saying, because they got on Thomas about that as well, talking about, see, you know what, they're going up. It's like, dude, do you understand that if that would have happened, at that point, the president can bypass Congress anytime he wants.
Yep.
No, but
until Trump gets in there.
But here's the thing about that. I believe that should that's the way that it should happen. Now, I don't believe the president should be able to go against Congress because our municipality is set up like a corporation. I believe that coloreds want a king, and I want to be that king. But y'all bullshitting. I don't get enough that.
All right.
They go hang your ass.
Not paying the bills of the graduate. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's not just the media irresponsibly fear-mongering over that decision. Justice Kagan, get this, she painted a bizarre hypothetical situation in her dissent. A terrorist organization, these are her words, sets off a dirty bomb in Chicago. Beyond causing deaths, the incident leads millions of residents, including many with student loans, to flee the city to escape the radiation. They must find new housing, probably new jobs, and still their student loan bills are coming due every month. Okay, a dirty bomb goes off.
Why is it always Chicago?
Yo, why are you threatening me? You a Supreme Court justice. I don't like being threatened like this.
Hey, wait, hold on. So, like, most of the people that'll be like, you always talk about Chicago. Stop talking about Chicago, or now talk about Chicago.
Yeah, they talk.
They're gonna nuke Chicago so they can get an election. That's what I really hear happening. We just might have to nuke Chicago if you niggas don't do the right thing.
Yeah.
Another move bomb.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Another
Hey.
move bomb.
Paying your student loan debt? No, I don't think so. And if the president needs to, he could always pause payments like Trump did when COVID first hit America. So what's this all about? Why is the left melting down? Because the student loan bailout was Democrats' pitch to win over young voters. It's about politics of this. Polls show 60% of 18 to 29-year-old voters went for Joe in 2020. That's been slipping a lot. Now, half of voters that age disapprove of his job performance. Why?
Yeah, back up to Kamala, and then it goes forward.
And they're worried they won't achieve
Hit Kamala, and bam, that's it.
independence.
Listen to this dumbass shit.
Student loan forgiveness. We haven't gotten a concrete answer from the administration.
For it, she refused to answer.
Who specifically is footing the bill for student loan forgiveness? We haven't gotten a concrete answer from the administration yet.
Well, let's start with this. First of all, a lot of the same people who are criticizing what we rightly did in following through on a commitment that we made to forgive student loan debt are the same people who voted for a tax cut for the richest Americans.
What does it?
Can't make this up. The Supreme Court.
That made absolutely no sense.
No.
That made absolutely no sense.
I get it though. I get it. See, it doesn't make sense, but you got it's like Dirty said.
It makes complete sense.
They just want stuff. They don't give a shit about the money. And Clarence Thomas is the man who is putting an end to their stuff. That's how they see it. That's all that matters is they're losing their stuff. And I'm all for that. They need less stuff. You got your bitches confused. You got too much stuff.
Now they're all trauma. Now they're all trauma bonding with each other.
Oh, that's what they're gonna do.
Hey,
that's all black love is trauma bonds. That's a bunch of bitches talking about you need somebody to understand your struggle. It's you to struggle.
Hey, tell me why, man. Every time I hear that lady talk, man, Kamala, I'm like, yo, man, like only in America.
No, because Kamala only talks about abortions with eloquence.
Bro, that is the perfect example of where all this college loan money is going right there, prime example.
To abortions.
Yeah, that too.
To people
Well,
like Kamala. Only in
well, yeah.
America where somebody can be that inept at her job and fail upwards. I mean, just
It's
look at the people around her, man. Her staff. She turns over staff like crazy, man.
Kamala
They don't
Harris.
like
She
her
must
ass.
have a throat like a Hoover. That's all I got
She's
to say.
another example of this affirmative action culture. This is what I mean about. It's not just the Supreme Court. I mean the college level. It's not just the college admissions things. There's a whole culture of this sort of thing where like we'll just put these chicks in there because we like her. She's cute.
Go.
That's sad. She ain't even all that cute.
Who?
Kamala Harris, man. I mean, she is like.
She's like 65 now. Back in her day, she was something
back
else.
in her day, yeah, she was. She was a deep throat queen.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm curious what Black Socrates has to say.
Socrates. What is it?
Socrates.
What's good? Yo, you got the flow if you want. You got to unmute yourself though.
Yeah, the white man ain't doing it for you, sir.
Hey, how's it going? How's everyone doing?
Chilling, bro. What up?
Happy July 4th, everyone.
Yes.
Happy
America Day.
Happy America
Day.
Day.
My ritual is to always read the Constitution every July 4th. So,
I like that.
I think this whole entire situation is hilarious. I'm just having my popcorn and just watch and laugh. Obviously, the rulings for affirmative action and the loan were pretty sound. I'm not sure what to complain about because, for one, for the affirmative action, there was nothing that was really being done for affirmative action that actually benefited Black people, in the sense that if you read the work of like Richard Sanders, there's something called mismatching, where you have minorities who would have been otherwise good students. They went to their state or local college, but you push them into an Ivy League or elite institution. They fail out or get into the bottom of the class. And according to research, when they go on to their professional life, they don't do as well. So if they would have went to their state school, graduated top of their class, went to the engineering program there where the students move at the same pace, they would have been better. So what's the point of affirmative action? And also, in terms of trying to get rid of legacies in Ivy Leagues, I find it funny because the only reason people want to go to Ivy Leagues is because of legacy. It's because of the elitism. It's because it's a country club. If you remove all those things, Harvard is worthless. If Harvard doesn't have a $20 billion endowment, if Harvard doesn't have all these influential alumni and successful people going to it, why would you want to go?
That's like a mic drop moment right there.
Seriously, why would you want to go to, what's a Rolex without it being associated with prestige? What's a luxury good without being its association with prestige or influence? What's Harvard without a $1 billion endowment, rich alumni, and rich students? Strip all those things, and it's just a regular college. So that's why I find it hilarious. It's like you're going there because it's elite. You're going there because it's a good old boys club. You just want to be part of it, which makes sense. I don't knock you if you want to be part of a good old boys club, but earn it. Now they're complaining, but what about the legacies? You're going there because of the legacies. If the legacies are gone, the reputation is gone. If the history and the prestige is gone, why would you want to go?
Somebody clip that up, please.
I'm already on it.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
I think you got a little microphone pop going in your audio.
I'm sorry, I'm outside. Let me just see if I can adjust this.
Oh, this guy's a staunch leftist.
That's right. Black thoughts.
All right. Well, if you get it, if you can reset your thing, you might have to drop out and come back in. I'll let you right back up. But
no worries. I'll try to do it. Give me a second.
Yeah, your audio is killing me. But I got a clip queued up in the background.
I think his audio is being oppressed by the Strag Nation.
Who knows? There's all kind of things it could be. But I want to play this clip. I have no idea what it is. I just know it says Karen takes the bakery. Sounds interesting. I know there's a black woman involved. I'm trying to figure out. I want to see what exactly is going on.
I want to see what the white woman does.
Store manager. Hi, can I have your name, please? So I can know who I'm talking to. Michelle, and you are the store manager? Okay, like, are you assistant manager or a store manager? Okay, hi, Michelle, the assistant manager. My pie is not warm. Can I have a warm pie? You didn't ask for one. I would have warmed it for you. Okay, are you going to warm a pie that I just ate out of that was cold, that was freezing cold? I'm going to throw it in the garbage. Okay. What are you doing? Are you like videoing me? I'm wondering why I just got inconvenienced, had to come back here, and why I'm giving you the frozen pie. It's not frozen. It's in the refrigerator to keep it fresh.
Where do black women keep pies?
Oh,
You don't want to know, Snowman. You really don't want to know.
At grandma's house because they can't cook no more.
God.
What the fuck is wrong with these women?
with the yam.
I swear they'll find anything and everything to be mad and pissed off.
Can I see the pie, please? Can I see the pie, please? Thank you. Is this
Man, what a,
oh.
She should have told her these were whites only pies and sent her on her way.
No, what's in the napkin first?
God damn. Oh God, that video would have went so viral.
But thank you for the napkin.
Wow. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't the white people who made this video and put it out to make her look bad.
that's just so. Oh, that's just so irritating, man. Anybody that's ever had to deal with anybody in a customer service role, I'm like, yo, you do not want to deal with that person. Most people don't want to be that person.
Look, and you know what, Hype? It's people like that is why I've gotten to the point to where if you're going to come at me with all that racist mumbo jumbo trying to get your clip off of me, then I'll be your huckleberry. I'll just go ahead and get it out the way right off the rip. You want me to drop it? I'll drop it.
Shout out to you, man. That's culturally appropriate.
All right. Slow down, Huckleberry. Slow down, Huckleberry.
Hey, I think I said something to Hood like a while ago on Twitter, and it was like I just had an epiphany, man, after watching something where it was one of those like, oh, this person racist is racist clips, and it was just like they didn't understand like what the person was asking for, and they were asking for clarification, but they're racist because they didn't understand them. It's just so weird. And I said, man, do you think most of these people, the way they're conditioned now, do you think that they would be able to actually deal with in-your-face racism? I mean, I'm unapologetic 1950s style.
No, none of them can even actually none of them can actually tell you a racist situation that they've actually encountered.
Well, here's the thing, and this is why it's so weird for black people, and it's going to get even crazier. Black people will experience racism from non-white people and have no real avenue to bitch and complain about.
Okay, here's the thing. Because I've been in racist situations. I mean, Chicago, nigga. So here's the thing. Real racism affects you financially, right? It doesn't really affect you. Like you calling me, and I've had police officers call me a monkey. I was shocked. I was like, a monkey? I ain't heard that one. They didn't call me the N-word though. Shout out to them. So that affects me legally though. If you have a racist police officer, that affects my livelihood if I get a conviction, right? Even though it's just a traffic stop. But the biggest racists, the ones that don't want to see me feed my family, but tell me that I need to be somewhere to feed my family, are black women in HR. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I think that if you look at these videos, a common thread is the people using the interaction is a black woman, because you rarely see a black man walking around with a camera to record people being mean towards him. I don't think men generally have this type of, reaction to society or life. So it's going to be usually a black woman. And my whole thing, I know this is completely biased, is I just assume that a black woman's wrong because of my experience with them. This is anecdotal, but their attitudes are horrible. So I assume that they're always at fault, because I've had I'm generally a cool, laid back guy. Even I have bad interactions with them. and that's like almost impossible to do because I'm pretty laid back. But they have horrible attitudes. Horrible attitudes. I've seen them fight with everyone. They fight with each other. They fight with their coworkers. They fight with their boss. They fight with random people. They fight with strangers. I was one time in a CVS. They were fighting online because the line wasn't moving fast enough. They fight all the time. So when they're in a situation or interaction with someone, I immediately question what's really going on. Because they're involved, I assume that they probably did something.
You have to do that as a man because you know what? That's a self-defense mechanism as a man because you have an instinct to care. And because you have that instinct to care, it will always be used against you.
That's why you just stop caring.
And
all of my life, I just had to fight.
It makes you feel better, Socrates. I have a philosophy in life, and it's never failed me. I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I also know I don't know everything. So whenever I'm confused in life, I ask 3 or more black women, and 2 or more agree. I do the opposite, and it's
Good one. Prime example. Remember that? Did you all see that video of the black graduate student, the female graduate student who grabbed the mic from the woman?
Yeah.
Okay. Prime example. Prime example. Right. So she comes and says, "Oh, I was a victim. They didn't let me say my name, so I had to do this and blah blah blah." Come to find out, what? All a lie. She did get to say her name. She just wanted to get attention. She just acts absurd. And there are countless videos like this where black women did something. A Chicago shooting, right? Yes, I agree. The black male who hit her was wrong. Obviously, shouldn't go around punching people. But if someone's threatening you and saying, "Shut the F up, shut up, I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna hurt you if you keep on talking," and you persist, something's wrong with you also.
You on my last show? That's exactly how I approached the whole entire issue. Like, I know she started that whole thing. I know she did something.
I already told you I assume that if a black woman's in a situation, she started it. I already assume. I know them. I know them very well. That's why I stay away from them. I know them like the back of my hand. I've lived with them my entire life. I stay away from them because I know how they are.
I think you brothers need to stop being scared and start oppressing your women like they
I'm
want.
telling you, man.
No.
That's what they want. So you might oppress the shit out of them.
Listen, you oppress them. You do it. You have good experience oppressing people. You oppress us. I'm not doing it.
Teamwork make the dream work. We all got to do it together. We can't have no man left behind.
That's not the problem with the snowman statement. The problem is he made this. You got to come to me so I can take it to committee, bro. Look, you know I call it Al 5.
Sorry, man. Things just come right off the top, man. I can't come to you with everything.
Well, the problem with
I've been hanging out in these black spaces too much. I feel like one of you.
I know, right? You feel like when the pimp has to be strong, right? I get you.
Right.
The problem with oppressing the black woman is that she's protected by the white man. That's the issue. The issue.
Hell she
black
is.
women. Yes, she is.
She is not, dude.
Yes, she is. Because when she calls the police, who's subsidizing her Section 8?
That's not
who's
the white
subsidizing
man,
her
dude.
welfare?
That's
yes,
not the
it
white
is.
man.
It's white liberals.
Us white men don't claim white liberals as the white.
But it's so come on, you play semantics. But it's white liberals. But it's white liberals. You get
the bag and fumble it. I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, and the car came with a blunt in it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show. We are approaching a 3-hour mark, and I'm going to leave it at that. Shout out to all the panelists who came and went today. Had a big panel today. Had a big show today, actually. Happy America Day, everybody. Appreciate you all coming through, man. Thank you all for stopping by. Do hit the like button on your way out. Yes, Snowman?
Shout out to my beautiful white baby that was born today, too.
Congrats, Snowman.
Yes, Young Liberty.
Appreciate him doing his part, man, on replenishing the race.
Yeah, just doing what I can, man. This is my 7th child.
Yeah. Snowman had a white baby for White History Month.
I sure did, man.
Damn, he got 2 coming off the bench.
And like I said earlier, man, she's a direct descendant of Josiah Bartlett, and he signed the Declaration of Independence.
That's what's up. She's gonna sew up the next American flag after we get bought by China.
We can only hope so, man. We can only hope so. I hope good things come to her.
All right, listen, you guys take it easy. We are gonna wrap this one up. Thank you all for stopping by, but I got to go do some America stuff. I got some chicken wings waiting on me somewhere, and I'm going to go get to them. You guys have fun. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.
All right, man.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.